The following show and its content are the responsibility of the show's producers and participants.
Information related in this program is not meant to substitute medical recommendations. Before starting a treatment program, you should consult your physician.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
That's right. Welcome to the Couch Live here on Rock. No, I was about to say a different station. Here on WPSN99.com, the Problem Solving Network. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Couch Live.
What's up? What's up?
What's happening, Trinity?
Not much.
Man, it was a busy day. Here's the thing. When you run out to go get tacos right before your show,
yeah,
it's probably not the best idea.
Well, not only that, but now you're going to have to come up with another ending for today, because you can't say it's time to go get some tacos because you haven't had one.
Do you seriously don't think that I can go have more tacos?
Well, I question your ability to eat another taco. I don't know. You already had 4 of them, so I don't know.
4 delicious, amazing tacos.
Yeah, we got like a street fair, some art festival, something or other happening.
Yeah, what is that? What is that down there before we get into the show? By the way, I'm the street certified dope Dr. Louis Delgado. This is Trinity Phillips, the Dharma Guy here with me.
Hey. The one and only.
Yeah, and Robbie, our intern, Robbie Barrett, the Grasshopper.
Disappeared yet again?
No, he's doing a test.
Oh, okay.
Or he's studying for a test or something like that.
That's what he told us, right?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's his story today. He's sticking to it. So what's going on at the street fair down there? Because there's a lot of people down there.
Yeah, I don't quite know, man. I know I showed up this morning to the studio, and the road was blocked off.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of take the long way in. And then, just now when we were a couple minutes prior to the show, we went down there looking for some grub.
Right.
And it was some really cool artwork, I gotta say.
Yeah, there was it was easy to get distracted, but I was not to be distracted, Trinity.
I see that.
I was on a mission. Me and Trinity Jr.
That's right.
Were walking through the fair looking for food. I was on a mission for food.
Yeah, and we were trying to find him some food, but due to his recent surgery and recovery,
right.
We have to get him soft stuff, and nobody was open yet. So.
Yeah, I must admit, the original intent was actually to help out Trinity Jr. until I saw a taco truck.
And then all bets are off.
And then all bets were off. Trinity, you were on my mind at first, brother. You were the main reason we went to go look for food. We were on that mission like Ponce de Leon.
Hey, you wanna say hi, buddy?
And then
come here.
I got so distracted with the taco truck, I left you guys behind.
It's poof.
And I went a different direction.
You want to say hi? Say hi to the microphone.
Why don't you say hi to Mr. Trinity Jr. How you doing, Trinity? You doing good?
There he goes.
That's all he's got to say.
That's it. He's a man of few words.
Yeah. Well, you saw him on my Facebook Live, right? He had
all
of a sudden he choked up. He knows what the show is and everything before. All of a sudden you turn it on, it's like, I don't know what
exactly
I'm listening to and watching. My dad's talking about
Although we got him saying call letters all the time now.
Yeah. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. All right. First of all, the only reason that this is a show focused on addiction and recovery, and the only reason we're able to go 1 hour free without any commercial interruption is because our beautiful sponsors, like Retreat Premier Addiction Treatment Centers, they have programs up in Pennsylvania, down here in Florida. And today we're actually going to have the owner, Peter Schorr, the main man of Retreat.
Very cool.
Who's going to be on with us because apparently, Trinity, there's a lot going on in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Well, a lot going on all around the United States, but in Pennsylvania, something just happened, and I'm going to let him explain what just happened up there that hopefully should crank up the ability for people to get access to get health care. And I don't know. We'll ask him.
I actually read some of the article that was out when he was being interviewed. And, it seems like some of them are steps in the right direction.
I'm hoping.
So I'm interested to hear his take on it.
Yeah, I'm real interested to hear what's happening in Pennsylvania. And of course, Pennsylvania's in the news all over the place right now because, number one, my Pittsburgh Steelers didn't make it into the Super Bowl. But number two,
they did not,
the Phillies did. So
the Phillies?
I mean, the Phillies.
Eagles.
The Eagles. I'm sorry. It's Philadelphia.
Wow.
So the Eagles. So the Eagles are going to be playing your favorite team, New England
God.
Patriots.
Man, I hope they don't get
in the Super Bowl. So Pennsylvania's in the news a lot right now. So we're going to be talking to them about that. But not only that, but I'm very eager to hear about their work with veterans.
Right.
You know, obviously, that's near and dear to me. My father is a veteran of the U.S. Army, retired Command Sergeant Major Jim Delgado. Always thanks for you, Pop, and everybody like you, and all the families of veterans. So I'm eager to find out what Retreat is actually doing to help the veterans. They got some big news with that. And just the overall perspective of what's happening in treatment now. What does 2018 look like in the treatment community? How good does it look for the people? The access to treatment, the insurance things are always an issue. We're all confused about our health care right now and what's going to happen. So I'm eager to hear his take on that. And then besides Retreat Premier Addiction Treatment Centers, we have Journey Pure. And Journey Pure is also one of our major sponsors, and which allows us to do this program, like I said, 1 hour free, uninterrupted broadcasting. So let's get on with it. Trinity, any news that we got to get into first before doing all that? We'll be calling him in about 6 minutes or so.
I will say that just some housekeeping stuff, I guess.
All right.
Number one, the golf tournament coming up on March 19th. You can check out the details on nowgolftournament.org.
Yeah.
That is at Aliquot. That's our yearly event, and we've already had quite a few sponsors sign up, which I'm happy about.
Oh, man. First of all, I got to jump in.
There you go.
All right, so Westgate Resorts, David Siegel.
Yes.
Has come in for another year. If you know who David Siegel is, look him up, Google him. Great guy, strong businessman, one of probably our largest businessmen in our area, right? Is he a billionaire?
I don't think he's a billionaire.
Close to it, right?
He's friends with billionaires.
Yeah, he's friends with Donald.
Yeah.
He's a first man, the first one to do the timeshare, Westgate Resorts. So anyway, Westgate Resorts and Victoria's Voice are part of the deal again. They're our title sponsor, one of our title sponsors. But another one.
Dose now.
Yeah, man. Don Mealy Sport Mazda.
They stepped up in such a big way, man.
Up in the last 2 years, or 3 years.
Yeah.
They have not only been an event partner with us, but now this year they've stepped up to a title sponsor.
Yes.
And we are really appreciative of everything Don Mealy Sport Mazda is doing. So they really stepped up, Trinity. You want to tell us about some of our event partners? Because I think all those are sold out.
Oh, you put me on the spot on that.
Yeah, I did.
Because I don't have them in front of me because my phone's over there.
Isn't that?
I
love doing this to you.
Yes.
All right. So far,
my Oracle is not in my hands.
So one of our sponsors here for this program,
I know we have
Journey Pure. Journey Pure is also an event partner.
I know Journey Pure is on there. I know Daryl Strawberry.
Strawberry Recovery Centers.
Yes, they're on there.
Right.
The lawyer that we spoke about last week, I think it was, or the week prior.
That's
the one that Trinity got us.
Banks.
I cannot remember his name at the moment.
Matthews Bark. Matthews Bark. Attorney at law.
I remember seeing Gilstrap and Associates, I believe.
No, that's a whole sponsor.
Okay.
But you're getting confused, but that's okay. You're still.
I'm just running through the names I see. I remember popping up in my head. I remember seeing certain ones. I know
Serenity Springs Recovery Center is also an event partner.
Okay.
Right. So I think just about all of them. I mean, just about everybody returned to be one of our event partners.
Yes, and I've seen some new names, which is awesome.
Yeah, there are a couple new names for whole sponsors.
I just keep getting emails flooding in, which is awesome. Like emails popping in saying, "Hey, new sponsorship sold out," whatever.
Novus Detox has been there from the beginning. Novus Detox is an event partner again. Rivermend, which is a brand new event partner, they took up a slot.
Journey Home.
The Journey Home is our raffle partner. So so here's the deal. So even though all of our title sponsors are now gone, and our event partners I think are all gone, that doesn't mean you still cannot participate by sponsoring a hole. So if you want to know how to do that, or if you want to bring your players and come play with us at the golf tournament, feel free to do so. Shh, don't tell anybody, but we're going to do a surprise birthday for Daryl Strawberry. He doesn't know yet.
Just between you and me, right?
It's between you and me. Well, it's on his birthday's March 12th, and we always have his birthday right around our golf tournament and never do a birthday for him. You know? So this time,
change.
Yeah. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to do a surprise birthday for him. So maybe we'll bring in some surprise guests to come sing happy birthday to Daryl Strawberry. So come and join us for that day. It's going to be March 19th. Come play with us. Go to nowgolftournament.org. That's nowgolftournament.org. What, did I say it wrong?
No.
What are you laughing about?
I'm just starting to realize where I rank. We're going to do a surprise birthday party for
And you didn't know anything about it?
No, we're going to do a surprise birthday party for Daryl.
Oh,
and all this
it's
big
your birthday.
My birthday was literally yesterday.
But I didn't get to that. No, listen. All right, wait a minute. Little Trinity. Little Trinity.
Okay. I don't have any championship
Big
rings.
Trinity's crying right now. Big Trinity's crying right now, little Trinity.
Hey, I don't have any championship rings.
First of all, he didn't give me the opportunity.
I get it.
To say, now that I'm talking about birthday, he didn't let me do the segue. He just interrupted the segue. You saw that I interrupted you and said, I knew it was your birthday.
Sure.
Yesterday was Trinity's birthday.
Yes, it was.
And estaba un poco agüitado.
Sí.
Para mis amigos latinos, ustedes saben lo que quiere decir eso.
Pochito
Está un poco
chicken.
agüitado.
Gallina hen,
Está
lápiz
llorando
pencil.
el pobrecito.
Pluma pen.
Llorar y llorar, llorar y llorar. You're crying over there.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I just need to get me some championship rings, and then all of a sudden I'll be everybody's favorite.
Don't be so depressed.
Oh, God.
What's your favorite statement? It is what it is,
That's
Trinity.
right.
It is what it is.
But
Anyway, happy birthday, Trinity.
Thank you, sir.
How old are you now?
How old am I? I don't thank you,
Look,
buddy.
he knew that.
Thanks.
37?
37.
Dang, you're getting old.
I know, right? I feel it, too.
I have known you a while because you were like right at 30 when I met you. Or not like in your 20s. You were in your 20s.
I don't remember now. It's been so long.
Wow, brother. Old man.
But to keep up with the announcement, I guess, on Tuesday, we were live at UCF.
Right.
And our event partners joined us there as well.
That was pretty awesome.
Retreat and Journey Pier, they were both there
Right.
to support us and hand things out. Serenity Springs showed up as well.
Right.
But it was a very, very cool event. I think we have it recorded, and we're going to play it hopefully soon.
Next week.
Next week, okay.
Next week, because next week we have I have an event. A separate event. I'm sorry. That's how low you rank again.
Wow.
I forgot.
All right.
I'll tell you off the air.
Nice. Anyways, my point being, we'll be airing that soon, and be sure to tune into that. Check our social media. We'll let you know when it's coming up. Very, very cool thing at UCF again, and always cool to go out there and see the newer generations, man.
Yeah, they were
very,
awesome.
very happy with
They were awesome.
with our future if it's going to be in their hands.
Yeah. Special thanks to Orange County for supplying the pizzas.
Yeah, man.
To Retreat Premier Addiction Treatment Center for offering a prize to the game show winners. Journey Pure offered some prizes, and so did Serenity Springs Recovery Center. So thanks to those 3 treatment centers who came out there and joined us in Orange County as well. And we have another event coming up. You know, we're going to Elon Recovery, a brand new treatment center. We're going to do another on tour. You knew about that one. Don't
I didn't know the name of it. I just knew that we were going.
Elon. Yeah, I think it's called Elon. February 8th, we're going to be doing
I get a phone call that says, "Hey, we're going down south on the 9th."
Look,
like, oh,
here's
all
the
right.
the big thing about treatment is that in our industry, there's a lot of really crappy programs, Trinity. And I'm not
Yes.
afraid to say it. There's a lot of really bad programs.
Yes.
Which is why we like to promote the really good ones. That's why you hear us say the same names of the same treatment centers over and over again, because it's real important for you people to understand it's not that the treatment is bad. It's not that recovery doesn't work. It's just that we have to promote the good programs. Yes, there are bad ones, but we don't need to talk about that. What we need to talk about is all the good ones, and that recovery is possible, and that it can work for you and your family. You just have to make the right phone call instead of getting sold to some treatment center that's not going to work for you.
I just posted about something like that the other
you
day.
did? What, a body broker in one or what?
No, what happened was there was somebody who was posting on it popped up on my timeline, I guess. Something took place at a sober home, and I guess it was kind of shady what happened.
Yeah.
And so an individual commented on there, and they said something about how it was really hard to find treatment facilities that are good.
Yeah.
And so I just so happened to say, okay, well, actually, our foundation, the Nam More Foundation, not only do we help scholarship treatment, but we do help find good.
Yeah, we vet them.
Treatment. Yeah.
Yeah, we visit them.
So,
we go check them out. And that's what the Elon did. Elon called us up and said, would you like to come check out our facility? They want the Couch Live to be right there at their grand opening, and we're going to be broadcasting live from Elon and kind of see if they're good. And I told him, I said, look, here's the deal, though. If we really find you not to be good, this is pretty risky on your part.
We're going to say it.
Because I'm not going to not say that I don't trust it if I don't trust it.
That should be fun.
So that should be fun.
Come
join us.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm hoping they're good. I'm sure they are. I know some of the characters involved, and some of the characters are good buddies, and I like them, so it should go well. But anyway, we're going to go down there, and that's in the neck of the woods for Retreat neck of the woods.
Very cool.
And so, let me tell you, to open up a treatment center right now in South Florida is pretty risky.
Yeah, risky or ballsy, one or the other.
But at the same time, it's kind of like saying, let's push out the ones that don't belong here.
Well, go into the lion's den, man. I like that. I like that concept.
Yeah.
Kick the door open and say, I'm here now.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. Recovery is possible when it's necessary.
I can respect that.
Right on. So that's what's happening down there. And what I was going to tell you, Trinity, the reason we're not doing a show next Friday is because I have to be at University Behavioral Center, which is also one of our UBC here locally. They're also one of our whole sponsors. They're also always involved. Ken Henderson, the CEO out there, is a really awesome guy, and he'll bring his winning team out to the golf tournament.
Don't they all say that though?
Well, he says they're the winning team. They just didn't win. But they did win one year, I think.
Okay.
They did win one year. But the last 2 years, Ed Wall's team from Extreme Synergy,
Yeah.
Didn't
they win last year?
They're the reigning champions. Yeah, 2 years in a row. And he just texted me this morning and said, we signed up our foursome. The winning team is coming back, and we're going to take it for the third year in a row. He's already talking smack.
Excuse me.
Yeah, man. All right, so let's get started. Let's get Peter on the air. I want to talk to Peter. I really want to know what's going on with the veterans and what's happening in Pennsylvania. So you ready for that, or did you have anything else that we had to talk about?
Let's make it happen.
Okay, so let me get my little phone, my trusty phone. Make sure that's not shown on camera. I don't want everyone to get your phone number, Peter, and then you get mad at me. So let me look them up. Go ahead and entertain the people while I dial this phone number there, Trinity.
Talk about the fact that it smells like onions in here now because of the...
Because I had 4 tacos? All right. You had nothing to say, and I already called. Thank you for that, Trinity.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Peter.
Yes.
How you doing? Welcome to the Couch Live. You're on with the street-certified dope, Dr. Louis Delgado and Trinity Phillips. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
So that is Peter Schorr with you. Let me test that level real quick. Can you say hi again? I'm sorry, Peter.
Hi. How are you guys doing today?
Perfect. I think I got him perfect. All right. No, we're doing fantastic. I don't know if you listened to the show opening, but we said that we're going to be talking to you in regards to how Retreat Premier Addiction Treatment Centers is not only working with veterans. I definitely want to hear about that, but we're going to start off, first of all, talking about what's happening in Pennsylvania. You guys are up there in Amish country. I know Tom always says that.
Yeah.
Tom Garofalo has been on our show multiple times, and he loves to talk about the Amish country that you guys are in, which is weird because Tom is so far from Amish. There's nothing.
How do you know that?
There is nothing Amish sounding about Tom.
You just know you know his acting persona. You don't know the real Tom.
There you go.
And back at home, he's making pies.
I'm churning butter.
I would love to see Tom in an Amish outfit.
I want to see him churning butter.
Yeah.
Well, I have picture. I took Tom golfing me one time.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was a golfer, and I got him this whole outfit with knickers and the hat.
Oh.
Wow. He didn't even make it to the women's tees.
I'm jealous though. I was looking for that for our golf tournament. I always wanted to wear knickers at our golf tournament.
Oh, we got to see the pictures of Tom.
Oh, I got to see it.
People would say to him, I don't know if you can play golf, but you got some set just to wear that outfit.
I love it. Well, you guys always do some fun things because you guys did a parade not too long ago where you guys were all like Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. I was Willy Wonka.
No, yeah, you were the main. Of course, Peter. Peter's all Willy Wonka, and he's got all of his staff dressed as Oompa Loompas.
That's funny.
I had nothing to do with that. I was told, here's your costume. I put it on.
I loved it, Peter. And let me tell you, here's an unknown fact that you don't know, Trinity.
All right.
Added to all the other unknown facts that you don't know. The really cool thing about Peter, here's the best. You want to know the best thing about Peter?
What's that?
He's married to a person from El Paso.
Sure.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that true, Peter?
I think that means more to you than it does to me.
It means so much to me. It's ridiculous. I love it.
Sure.
When I met his wife and she told me she was from Chuco Town, I was excited.
It was a bonding moment for you guys.
Yeah, it was a real bonding moment for us. I loved it. And
I excused myself and walked away.
You know what? I do the same. Every time he starts talking about the old country, I'm like, all right.
The old country. Like it's Sicily or something. No, because we started talking about Chicos Tacos. We understand each other's language.
Uh-huh.
All right. I speak New Yorkese. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
All right. So, Mr. Peter Schorr, not too long ago, they were something happened in Pennsylvania. Your governor did something. Please educate us a little bit about what is going on in Pennsylvania and the state of that. Because we hear a lot about Ohio, Virginia's, Delaware's, Florida, obviously, California, Texas, but not a lot comes out of Pennsylvania. What's going on in Pennsylvania?
Well, like the rest of the country, Pennsylvania is suffering from the same epidemic as was seen throughout the country about the opiate epidemic. Right. Our governor, about 2 weeks ago, came out with an emergency order on the opiate crisis, which, anytime you bring anything in the forefront, it's great. You talk about it, people start bringing up dialogue about it and try to come up with ideas and how we fix this. I mean, he had some immediate measures that, putting a Band-Aid on something, but he's trying, and I have to give him credit that he's bringing it in the forefront and recognizing that you can't just sweep this under the rug anymore.
Right.
Kids from 18 to 25, that's the number one killer is overdoses, and it shouldn't be like that, not in this world. Right. Unfortunately, they make it a prescription drug problem which is, a very small portion of it. It's a heroin problem, and these kids are not using prescription drugs; they're using heroin.
Right.
And we got to get them off the streets. And how do we get them off the streets is not, for 5 days or 10 days or 14 days that insurance companies gives them, but they need some length of stay and some quality time in treatment centers to get an education, to find out, this is a killer. If you go in a community at a treatment center and you ask how many people know someone who's died of an overdose, and how many, everyone knows 20, 30 people by now. Right. But it's the same thing, though. It's not going to happen to me, though. I'm smart. I know how to use my drugs. And that's right now, they don't even know what they're using. All these fentanyl and carfentanil, they're dead before the needle's out of their arm. Right. So, I'd like to see some measures where the insurance companies, and this is something that we did, was partner up with insurance companies to try to get people more time in treatment so they can succeed and get on the road to recovery.
Tell us a little bit about that. How does that look? How does a place like Retreat Premier Addiction Treatment Center how do you even open up that dialogue to have an insurance company listen to you?
Well, I'll tell you a funny story that happened with us with Aetna. We're a preferred provider from them. A few years ago, I don't know if you remember, Psychology Today used to have Best in Treatment.
No.
They used to have an issue. It was Best in Treatment.
Okay.
They listed about 50 facilities.
Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah. I do remember.
And we were fortunate enough to be in there and meeting with the higher ups at Psychology Today. I said, what is your criteria to determine who's best in treatment? Right. And he looked at me with a smirk and goes like, what do you mean? And I said, well, I know some of those facilities in that edition, and they're not best in anything. Correct. So they don't have that. They don't have that issue anymore. So I had. Like a few months later, Aetna came for a visit to tour our facility up in Pennsylvania. They had the executive vice president, medical director, a couple of the social workers, and I was telling them this story, and they said to me, it's funny that you say that. Because we're trying to find out some criteria on how we rate our providers. Someone goes into network with an insurance company, there's a vetting process, but it's not a thorough vetting process. Right. It's not something that they have any kind of measurability or accountability in how they do this. So they said, would you be willing to go into a pilot project with us? Where there's real statistics involved, and there's measurability, there's a whole metrics that we're going to come up with. And we said, sure, we'd love to do things like that. And we did it with them. And the first year we did so well with it that we were rewarded with it, and we work closely with them. So they know our patients that come into treatment, X amount of time, they're going to stay this clean, this long, this. There's a whole thing. It's not just who comes in and stays clean. I have a joke around. People say, what are the percentage of the people that come to your facility stay clean and sober? I say 100% of the ones that listen.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. The ones that don't, they chart their own course. Who knows what's going to be? But these are things, there's measurable success that how they came up with these metrics, and we're using those in our negotiations and talking to other insurance companies, how you can understand that the more time that you give someone, the better off they're going to be, and the more success they're going to have, and that you won't see these multiple admissions by the same person over and over if you do it right the first time. Right. Or the second or third time. It's not, recidivism is big in addiction, as we all know. It's part of recovery. Right. But, it doesn't mean because you went and you got treatment and then you relapse that you don't get treatment again. Exactly. I mean, if I'm a diabetic or I have cancer and I'm in remission and it comes up again, does that mean I don't get treatment again? Exactly. No. So these are the things we did with the insurance companies, and it's really working now. Instead of fighting them, right, partner up with them. So how do they respond to that, especially in a time where it seems like they're allowing less and less days for higher levels of care? They want people to get out into the street and do some lower levels of care instead of the higher levels of care. So is that part of the dialogue that you had with them? It definitely is. It's a battle we have. Right. And we had an insurance company out to see us here in Florida the other day, and they had their medical director, they had one of their utilization review people, a social worker, and they were honestly they were clueless of how much time people are getting. And we said to you, you're averaging 8 days.
Yeah.
Now, with detox and 8 days, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You're perpetuating the Florida model program yourselves.
Correct.
Which you say you're against.
Yeah.
I mean, I said, thank God they have something that people can go to, but how about doing it the right way and have some structured environment for patients while they're in treatment and the first time.
Yeah,
and give them that.
Let's pause there for a second because I think you hit on something real important, and I want to bring Trinity in on this. Trinity, do you know what he's saying? What he's saying is that same model that they had a problem with, that Florida model where someone is living in a sober home or a halfway house and being forced to go to a certain intensive outpatient program. And by going to that intensive outpatient program, they no longer have to pay for that halfway house. But that model is called the Florida model,
right?
Where you live one place and you go to treatment another place. Okay. Now, the treatment centers acted like they hate that because that allowed too much of the brokering, too much of the trades, too much of the handing off of money, the kickbacks. And so they're trying to crack down on that. But by making it less days at a higher level of care, meaning detox or residential, right? So when they lower those, they make you bill for what's called PHP, like partial hospitalization, or they make you pay for intensive outpatient.
Right.
So by paying for more days in the outpatient level than for residential level, you can't really afford to run a good, healthy program at the residential level, keep the person for 30 days, 45 days, which a lot of programs do, but for eight days of payment.
Right.
Does that make sense? So,
yeah, I mean, that's
so
what
they
I hear
don't
all the
reward
time.
these programs, the real healthy, good programs, by giving them 30 and 45 days. They reward the other programs, the IOP programs, more.
Well, I think from their perspective it's cheaper, but I think from our perspective, what I hear all the time, now that I've kind of entered into that world and going to different facilities and stuff and doing what I do, I've been privy to some of the insurance discussions,
Right.
And I think it's ludicrous. Like, I've always had that problem, and he brought it up earlier when he said about diabetic or cancer.
Correct.
When you have diabetes or cancer, it would be unheard of. There would be riots in the streets.
Yep.
If they found out just one person was denied treatment for their cancer coming back.
Yep.
Let just one person, and
That's all it would take.
All over like the news and 60 Minutes. It would just be crazy.
Yeah.
And yet daily it happens to people in addiction.
Correct.
And nobody cares.
Correct.
And so I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you're right on it. But and it's even worse than that. What a lot of these places do, it's not that they're making money on their services anymore. They open all these, they have laboratories, so they don't even care what they get paid on a service. They get, they're making money on different avenues, and it just the legitimate places, and there's many even in Florida that have to close down because they just don't have that wherewithal to continue and do the right thing.
What they used to call the ancillary, well, they still do, the ancillary services. You'd go in and I would consult some of these programs, Peter, and the first thing, every time I would talk about a different type of thing that they can have within their program, they would say, is there a code for that?
Yeah.
What's the billing code for that? And you'd be like, well, you just lump it all into the treatment. It's just good practice. And they're like, no. If there's not a billing code for that, why add it? You're not being forced to.
One of the first things I asked when our referral source comes in for a tour, I said, do you own your own lab? And I had one person go, we do, but we're very ethical. And I said, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does it mean?
They go, well, we only do 3 tests a week. And I look at everyone at the table and I go like, this is ethical? I said, why am I even talking to you? I mean, it's just, you're wasting your time and my time. This 100%. Is not who I want to deal with, and you're not going to be open much longer anyway. And that's, and what fortunately I can say is happening, that they are closing down these things that pop up overnight because, someone goes to treatment and they see, they go, oh, I can do this. And then, no, you can't do this because you went to treatment. That's not the prerequisite of owning a facility is you went to treatment.
Yeah.
Prerequisite is you go to school, you get a job, you get experience, you know what you're doing.
Right.
But, unfortunately, the insurance companies and the state regulatory agencies don't understand that yet, but they're getting it.
A few months back, I got a call from a couple of a bunch of investors on the phone that were hiring me to do a consulting gig, and we didn't move forward because I disagreed with one line item, the lab. They wanted to make money off the lab, and I said, I don't think that's a great idea. I think you should allow a lab to be a lab and you be a treatment center.
Right.
And where I got that from is, when I was helping some other people, sell their treatment centers, and they were having these inflated prices, Peter, for what their treatment center was worth. I loved it the way this one guy from Wall Street did it. He simply had the business plan right in front of him. He had the sheet right in front of him, and he just put his finger over that line item, over the lab. And he goes, now what do you think your treatment center's worth? And the guy goes, well, no, that's part of it. He's like, no, that $1 million or whatever, is that's part of it, those millions of dollars. He goes, no. See, if that goes away, if you don't get paid for lab, what is your treatment center really bringing in per month?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's
it was huge, Trinity. It was showing what it showed the guy was he actually was losing money in treatment, making money only in lab. So he was making more in lab than he was in treatment.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's not what they're not concentrating on helping the patient. They're concentrating on helping their pockets.
Right.
And
that's why I consulted a lab.
That's not why I got in this.
Right. Exactly. That's why I consulted a lab not too long ago, just to help them stay ethical and help them kind of weed out the treatment. Here, the treatment centers, it was us, the treatment center owners. I'm a treatment center owner, right, for years. So it was us that kind of polluted them. We're the ones that say, what am I going to get for it?
Right.
I don't say I did it, but I'm saying people in my industry actually force them to go outside. Well, not forced, but kind of encourage them. Well, I will use your lab if you do this for me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I've had labs come up to me and say, "I'll give you this," and they don't know who they're talking to, and I'll go,
right.
"You realize I'm the owner of the facility,
right? Right.
Oh, I didn't know that. I said, meeting's over now, bud.
Exactly. Yeah. So beyond that, so the solution is you have a governor up in Pennsylvania that sees that this is a problem. Now, does that translate to any dollars for a place like Retreat, or does that only transfer into dollars for your state-funded facilities?
Yeah, that would be just for state-funded facilities.
Right.
But again, it's opening eyes. And, people made fun of, remember years ago they had that show on TV, Celebrity Rehab?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was corny, it was staged and things like that.
Right.
But it brought it to the forefront, and people see that. People actually do that. Right. So anytime you bring something to the forefront and talk about it and it gets a dialogue, something will be done. Something will be done. I mean, we unfortunately, a lot of the places that have closed in Florida, these Florida model programs,
right?
You know what they did? They moved up north
and out west.
Yeah, well, I don't know about out west, but they moved up to Pennsylvania, New Jersey.
Yep.
And again, it's the same problem, the same thing with labs and recovery houses that they don't care about what people are doing. So we got to clean this industry up. It's a black eye for all of us that are in it when there's people like that in it.
Well, here's a good thing. This is how I knew Trinity that I was talking to a good program right off the bat, because I didn't know much about Retreat. I got to admit, I didn't know much about Retreat before meeting Tom Garofalo. But one of the things is, as soon as I heard that they were in network and they were preferred providers of certain insurance coverages, that's a big bell ringing positive, because that is not what a crooked facility would do.
Yeah.
All right. They don't typically go in network with anyone, and they don't want to become a preferred provider. They want out of network benefits all the time.
Yeah,
a Florida model can't survive in
network. Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Again, my thinking was coming to Florida was there's 20 million people live in Florida. Who's treating them?
Yeah.
You got 2 million people approximately who suffer from the disease of addiction, not counting transplants.
Right.
Who's going to treat them? Because all these other places, they're not.
Right.
So that was my thinking when I came to Florida. Is treat the local people. They need help too.
Right. Especially
it's a national disease. It's not a state disease.
Right. Especially since our insurance doesn't pay well here in Florida. The Florida Blue, man, they like it better in California than they like it here.
Yeah, Florida Blue is a challenge. I mean, it's not Florida Blue. I mean, you got to remember,
My Florida Blue or Blue Cross
Florida Blue has nothing to do with the insurer. With that, it's New Directions that manages the behavioral health part of it.
There you go. Yeah.
And again, I had a meeting with them just recently, and hopefully that we get on the same page. They had some great ideas on what they want to do, and
right on.
And hopefully it happens. I mean, but you're right. They just. They don't get it either. I mean, it becomes a money thing, and it's a bit. I understand. Look, I understand the business aspect of everything.
Right.
But this is something that you're saving lives, and people buy an insurance policy. Shouldn't they be able to access it?
Right.
Well,
and that's what I want to see.
But what better business is there if you're actually successful? You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing about successful as far as in you're treating your patients well, and they're getting into long-term sobriety, and they're successful afterwards. Oh, isn't that the best business model? I mean, to have actual success that way?
That's the thing, Trinity. There's so many people suffering from addiction.
Right.
There's so many.
Sure.
And there's so many people that are desperate and vulnerable that these programs were able to access that pipeline.
Sure. Well,
that's the thing.
I'm speaking as like an end user, for instance, right? What I care about if I'm going to put my family member in there, like one of the reasons why I would choose Retreat, for instance, is because first of all, I've met John Shooter, was our first way in, right?
Yeah.
And then through him, we've gotten a hold of Tom Garofalo and now Peter,
right?
And the vibe that I get from all three of them is I care,
right?
You know, I'm going to make money because I'm in a business. It's going to happen,
right?
But more importantly, I care. Like I genuinely want you to do better. And so if I'm looking for someone to put my kids in, or myself for that matter, I want to go somewhere where I feel that I'm going to be taken care of, not just a dollar sign.
Mm-hmm.
All of them are going to make money. That's just part of it. If you're in that business, you're going to make money doing it. But I want the one who actually cares about me. And so that's who I'm going to refer people to, be it myself, my friends, my family, whatever. I don't look for the biggest one who makes the most money. I look for, hey, this place actually cares about you.
Right. Right, and you're right. And you're right. The John Shooter is like the face of Retreat here locally, right?
Yeah.
Wait! Don't say the face. Okay?
Oh, wow.
He's a beautiful, great man, but please don't say.
Wow.
No.
The face.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. He's our local face. Should I say that?
John's a great guy. He really.
Here's the thing about John. John has that immediate respectability, but the voice
accent.
alone, the accent.
Right.
You know, the guy is probably from Kentucky, but to us, you know, he goes around acting like he's a Brit. You know, that he's from England. But you know, you probably got him from somewhere
let him
else.
try to do an English accent for you. He still sounds like he's from Great Britain.
We tried to get him to do that on the show the other day. Remember that?
Yeah.
We tried to have him do because all the guys from
can't.
all the guys from Walking Dead can do it, but he couldn't do it.
No, he can't do it. We were playing golf one day, and he's imitating a friend of his who does an English accent. I went, "You really don't think that's an English accent, do you?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "You sounded like you were from Great Britain."
That's funny.
He's a good guy.
Still, one of my favorite interviews though is Tom. Though I gotta say, I love Tom. Man.
Well, Tom's got
Garofalo.
that jersey. He's got that jersey.
He's
attitude.
one of our best interviews. I love talking to that dude.
Guys from Jersey are always great interviews, though.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, anybody.
Tom?
Yeah, you can get anybody from that area.
You think Tommy has an accent? I didn't
So how about let's segue into the veteran stuff because I'm the son of a veteran. My dad did 25 years, just about give or take. Oh, you did as well?
My father was a vet.
Oh man, awesome. Yeah, and so my heart is there. So we're a veteran family, and so that always means a lot to me of how hard it is. Like the other day, a matter of fact, I did an intervention the other day. We tried to get into your place, but the hard part of getting an intervention into a place like Retreat when they have VA benefits only, like Champ VA, was the fact that now you got to get them to an ER at the VA and get that doctor to now recommend
it's a crazy process.
So they make it impossible to do an intervention.
Yeah. I mean, and that's something they talked about to do away with and to fix that whole problem with that. I haven't seen it yet, but hopefully that happens soon. You know, we've always treated. We only did detox for the Lebanon VA up in Pennsylvania since we opened.
Okay.
We had a special contract with them, and we were only able to do detox. We couldn't do all levels of care because they had that level of care in the local hospital, and if they have that level of care, they have to go there.
Okay.
But there's 58 VA hospitals in the United States that do not have the level of care, and you know. These patients that come to us from the VA hospital, a lot of them, you know, combat veterans, a lot of them Vietnam vets.
Right.
You know, they've been through the system so many times, and it's you know, not to knock the VA hospital because I'm sure there's there's some good people who work there and
Right.
they get some care, but it just gets kind of routine, and it's not, they handle, if they're going in for addiction, that's what they handle, the addiction piece,
Right.
where, a lot of these guys are suffering from, multiple things, not just the addiction piece. There's a lot of mental health issues that, fortunately, I don't know if you remember this, Lou, when we came here, Retreat has like a team approach when someone comes in, and they not only get a primary addiction therapist, we have clinical specialists that handle the mental health aspect.
Right.
We have outreach specialists that do all the case management. So our therapists can actually give therapy. They don't have to worry about, what the aftercare is and this
Right.
and that,
Right.
and dealing with referral. So the outreach does all of that.
Right.
So, when they come in, I mean, the fortunate though, they do get a lot of time. They're not like, a regular insurance company where you get, a few days. They're getting, 52 days, which is great.
Okay.
And you see the guys who come in here who are just so broken that when they leave, they're thriving. I mean, it's amazing. And the gratitude they feel, and they come up and every day one of them comes up and just says, I just want to thank you for here. It's something special. You saved my life. It's just amazing to hear that from these guys. And I say, hey, you know what? Thank you for what you did. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being who you are, and thank you for letting us sleep at night. And that's something that you can't ever forget. And you can't let them forget that. And you gotta respect these people. A lot of people go, oh well, they were in the Army when it was peacetime. And they didn't know it was going to be peacetime. You don't know when all of a sudden something's breaking out. You join that Army, you go into that Army because you're going to fight if you're called.
Right.
So it's respect we have on Veterans Day this year. We since we get so many vets,
right on.
We had a big ceremony where we dedicated this plaque to all the servicemen and all the different branches of service in both facilities, and it was like something out of a movie, the way they all got together,
right?
And had one guy leading, and it was just it was just amazing to see that, and it just they were so thankful that we recognized them, that we did that for them, and it's thank you, but don't thank me.
That's a beautiful thing.
This is our job. My job is when people walk through the doors of the retreat, that they don't fall through the cracks, that we give 110%, and we try to save your life, and that's our job. I mean, and we have a staff in both places that are just so phenomenal and so caring and so giving that every day you go to work, you're happy to see that not only the patients but the staff, and that's important to me as an owner, knowing that the people here are as dedicated to your mission as you are, and that's great.
And I really appreciate that, Peter, that you think like that, because you're opening my eyes to something. So one thing I did not know, which is what Peter just mentioned, Trinity, was the fact that they are getting the day. So it seems like the hard part then, Peter, is getting into the system itself, getting into a private facility itself. But once that they're in, then the VA does take care of them. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. Once they get through that, log jam of paperwork,
right?
Yeah, they do give them the allotted time they need to really get themselves well, which is great.
Right.
And working with the VAs that we work with, the hospitals and the social workers there, we do a lot of work with Washington D.C. and they're caring. It's not like it's just a job for them. Because I know some VA hospitals where I've heard things that are just awful, and the way they treat the people that come through the VA hospital like they're nothing, like they're a nuisance because they're coming in. What? They're sick like anyone else. Work in a hospital you can put any name in front of it. You don't judge.
Well, do you remember when our insurance used to be the Mac Daddy, Peter? Remember when those of us that had military insurance, it was like the best insurance you could possibly have, Trinity, when I was growing up.
Yeah, that's what I've ever heard about it.
Oh, my God. Trinity, you would just have a sniffle, and you'd go to the doctor and get, loaded up with meds. I mean, you could get braces so easy back then. You can get anything you needed.
It's not that the VA system. It's just, what it is. It's a logjam. It it takes so much time and effort to go through it that they just lose patience and they leave and they don't get the help they need.
And very few facilities are willing to do what you're doing. To be honest with you, very few facilities know how to get through that and have the conversation with the people that they have to have the conversation with, so that they can provide benefits to the veterans.
I mean, it's hard.
Right.
It's a battle, and we bring other VA. Other vets down from other states, and the local VA hospital resents us for it.
Wow. So what would you recommend, Peter, to a person in that is a veteran and they want help? They know they have a drug or alcohol problem. They're kind of afraid to talk about it, or maybe they've already utilized the local treatment scenario and they just don't feel like it was effective for them. Is there a recommendation that you might want to give them to help them kind of move forward and maybe get into a place like Retreat?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if your local VA does not have the level of service that we have, you go there and they do an assessment, and you can ask to be sent to a place like this, because we're a national provider for all veterans hospitals now.
Okay.
And they theoretically can send them to us.
Okay.
That's a choice that the social worker is going to make. I mean, they may have their favorite places, but I don't know. But if you're saying something, if you're asking to go to a place, they should accommodate it. And all I can say is that if a vet comes through our doors, they will be treated with respect, and they will get something out of this program like they've never gotten out before.
All right. So what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that anybody listening to this broadcast right now or one of the replays that's anywhere in the United States, if they can go to their VA hospital or VA doctor and request to be sent to your program should they meet that level of care or want to be evaluated for that level of care, correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
Correct.
Very cool.
That is pretty cool. Because that's a lot of people. And that's a lot of individuals who, like I say, I mean, I've gotten calls like that from veterans all the time, or their family members that feel like, well, where do I go? Because as soon as they say Champ VA on the phone, or as soon as they say something like that, on the phone, we don't take that. We can't accept that. So I appreciate that tremendous. And you know what? There's somebody I want to. Peter, are you coming to our? No, I'm putting him on the spot right now. I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. Is that okay, Peter?
Sure.
I like doing that. All right. So are you coming to our golf tournament March 19th? I know Retreat's going to be there. Retreat actually has a whole Trinity, and they're bringing a golf team. But I don't know if you, Peter, are going to be on part of that golf team. Are you part of the Retreat Premier golf team?
They're going to make me try out and see if I can make it. If I do well, they'll let me go.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Well, if you come down,
for an answer?
Yeah, I love it. Very political. I love it. But what I was saying was there is a NASCAR driver I want to introduce you to. Now that we're talking veterans, his name is Jesse Iwuji, and this coming Monday, there's going to be big news coming out of the Jesse Iwuji camp. Matt Casto is a sports agent at Trinity. You know Matt. He comes to our golf tournament every year. Well, from what I'm hearing, Jesse's going to come to our golf tournament as well. Jesse's been on our show before. We met him a couple years back at the Daytona 500, and he's an up-and-coming. Well, he's a Navy officer. He's an African-American Navy officer that's also a NASCAR driver. How diverse and how cool is that?
That's cool.
So I think he should know someone like you and know that the services are there, especially since he's a face and a voice not only for NASCAR but also a face and a voice for veterans. I would like to be able to connect him with you guys.
I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guy. So we only have a few minutes left on the show. Is there anything you wanted to make sure to cover, Peter, before we end the show?
Of course, I love to promote Retreat, but even more, I love to promote education in addiction. And one of the things that we're doing now is actually have like a traveling family education team. We call it a CAP program, where we go out and we'll go to schools, we'll go to community centers, anywhere where there's a gathering, and we can talk about the disease and answer questions and let people know, because the general public, all they know about drugs and alcohol is it's your choice, you did it. Just say no, just stop, like Nancy Reagan said, and it's not that easy. It's something that is a disease, and we want to educate the public and let them know that there's help out there. And, it doesn't necessarily have to be Retreat. It's somewhere you need to go to get yourself well, because it's a deadly disease and it's killing our youth like nothing else, and we need to stop it.
100%. And, obviously we here at WPSN99.com appreciate you, Peter, and all of your staff over there for not only being a sponsor of the network over here, But also, before even sponsoring us, you had already sponsored a guy by the name of Steve Moderano at Recovery Radio from Pennsylvania, who is also on our network, and he does a fantastic job
Yeah, he does.
each and every week interviewing different individuals that understand this disease from the inside out. To me, he's just a fantastic interviewer, and, of course, you guys spotted him out and found him to do that, and we appreciate that. Because that's just another strength.
And we appreciate what you do, guys, and that you're bringing this in the forefront and talking about it. Like I said before, let's talk about it. Let's not sweep it under the rug. Let's get this beat. I think we can do it.
Right on. Well, congratulations to you guys as well, because I understand that of all the programs that I talk to every day, always saying crying empty. The other day when I called at it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I talked to somebody from Outreach. Like at 1 o'clock in the morning, talking to a couple of guys that needed a detox in the middle of the night. You guys are full, so that was great news to hear, Trinity.
Heck yeah.
It was like
you look at it as a business side that it's great. You look at it as the social side and go, what's going on?
Right.
Why,
No.
is this happening?
Yeah. Great point. So thank you very much, Peter Schorr.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
And remember to say hi to your wife for me, fellow Chuka. So
I will.
Tell her hi from me, and I look forward to seeing her again. And there's Peter. Thank you very much for being on the show with us, Peter.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, brother. All right. Right at the same time my phone's ringing. Look at that. That's not going to happen. All right.
Right
so
on.
that was Mr. Peter Schorr.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. Pretty cool, right? I really like that guy. He actually cares.
You know the thing I wanted to ask, but we just didn't have time for it.
Wait a minute. You could have always asked, Trinity.
Well,
you always say that when I hang up with someone.
What I want to know is why he got into it. What his story was.
Well, why didn't you just ask the question?
Because you guys were flapping your gums, man. No, you were asking good questions, and he was giving good answers, and I wanted that to take the forefront. But if there was a break, I wanted to know what his...
All right, make a note. Next time we have him on the show, we'll ask him that question.
I'm just curious as to what his motivation was to get in it.
That's a great question.
Because I'm always curious. Yeah,
me too.
If it's...
And I'm surprised I didn't ask, because usually I ask the question.
I figured you were at some point, but...
That's weird.
It kept getting... The topics were good, and they were expanded upon, so I think that took precedence.
I got distracted with the veteran stuff, and I really, I'm a veteran fan.
But yeah, I'm always just curious as to why people got into it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, the ones who are in recovery, I think
point.
it's fairly obvious, but if you're not in recovery,
Yeah.
I'm always curious as to what prompted that happen.
Right. Great point.
Because I know for me it was...
Well, we don't know he's not in recovery. We don't know if he's in
That's
recovery.
what I said. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But,
now we're left with a big question mark, Trinity.
There you go.
Now you got a big question mark in my head. Now I got to ask.
So Peter, if you're listening, man, we're going to have you back on one day just to talk about you.
100%.
But
the man behind it.
That's right. Because I know for me, mine was just like happenstance. Like I accidentally fell into it basically with you. Like I never really set out to get into addiction. It just kind of happened.
Right.
And now, of course, I'm not going anywhere.
There's a lot of people that didn't get into addiction until they met me, and then
it
kind of happened. But it was different with you. It wasn't because I gave you anything.
Correct.
I didn't hand you off anything. You're a sober guy.
Yes.
But anyway, God, that was really good. Here's what I like talking about. Who he reminded me of? The president of Kaleo.
Who?
Kaleo, the pharmaceutical company with FZO.
Oh,
remember how empathetic and how well-spoken that CEO was
Yes.
of that pharmaceutical company?
He was awesome, by the way.
And how understanding he was of the disease?
Yes.
Peter reminds me of that. And here's what I feel good about in the path of recovery in 2018 is there's leaders like Peter Schorr.
Right.
There's leaders like that actually give a damn, that are empathetic, that aren't in this simply for money. Now, money has to be part of the deal. That's business.
You gotta keep the lights on.
Okay, let's not get silly. However, in order for certain individuals to be in certain types of businesses, they have to have a love for it and a passion for it. And this guy's like highly involved. If you would go there, Trinity,
he seems like it.
It's like it's a compound in a positive way. Like when I say compound, I don't want you to think like Branch Davidians.
Right.
I want you to think it's almost like a safety from the outside pollution.
Right.
Because the thing that makes it comfortable for someone like me to refer someone to a Retreat Premier Addiction Treatment Center in South Florida is the fact that the outside elements cannot come in and damage them.
Right.
Because it is that kind of compound.
Very cool.
They wouldn't even let me. One time I was down there, and I wanted to go visit, but it was like on the fly. And John said, you can't.
John
Shooter.
Nice.
He says they like prior advance notice, and they had a gate and a camera and a guard.
Wow, nice.
I couldn't get through.
Nice.
And I had a client in there, Trinity.
Wow.
I had a client in there.
I kind of like that, though.
But I didn't even try to push it. I simply respected the situation. I understood completely, and actually, I appreciated that more. And I said, thank you very much for that. We'll make an appointment, and I'll come down another day. And then I got invited to they had a big yearly celebration. And, you know, did you remember me on the scissor lift?
I was actually just looking at it. Like
that picture with that's their entire staff. How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's the entire staff of that particular place, and they do that every year. So that was a pretty awesome picture and a pretty awesome moment. So I was blessed enough to be part of that. And anyway, we've got a minute left. Again, I don't want to forget to say happy birthday to you, Trinity.
You know, it's just busting your chops, right? Like it's not.
No, you were really crying. It's okay.
Yeah.
You were really sensitive about it, and it's okay. It's it is 2018, Trinity.
That it is.
And you're allowed to be sensitive, and I want to make sure that WPSN99.com is a safe place for you.
Yeah, there you
that
go.
this is a safe space.
My snowflake self.
Right, and I want to make sure that you understand that you're loved and you're cared about.
Yes, I'm being tapped on my shoulder by my kid.
And I actually care about you, Trinity. That that it's okay for you to feel bad. If you want to talk about it after the show.
I feel a hug coming on. Is that what that's going to lead to? Is that what that happened?
Well, can I do that during the show? You know what, Trinity?
What's up, buddy?
You said it. I'm going to come by.
I'm
off the mic right now.
Oh,
I'm going to come give you a hug, Trinity.
Uh-oh. Hey, you hear that, buddy?
I'm going to come give your dad a hug because it was his birthday, and he felt like I forgot it.
Yeah, this isn't awkward at all.
There you go.
If you guys watching this, I'm
go.
being
There you go, Trinity.
I'm being harassed.
I love you, Trinity. Happy birthday.
Hashtag me too.
There you go. Hashtag me too. Oh, man.
Was that your Harvey Weinstein moment for the day?
Well, Well, I don't know if that was a Harvey Weinstein because you are a male.
You know what?
So it was more like a Kevin Spacey.
There you go.
But
yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Anyway, thank you very much, Trinity, for that moment.
Yeah, sure.
All right, and anything else going on, Trinity, before we get out of here? My brother's birthday is coming up February 2nd. Happy birthday, Jimmy. I don't know. What are you now? Jimmy's 51 or something? Jesus, God, you're getting old. Oh, man. What else?
I will say, next week on Tuesday.
Yeah, what is it?
My show, man. We are going to talk about Me Too. The hashtag Me Too movement.
Next week on Tuesday? All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, that should be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So anything else we got to do, or are we out of here?
I think we're out, man.
I think we're out. Adios, amigos. It's time for a taco. Goodbye.
And that was without even a single drop of rum.